Ouch. Yeah, got an injury. Welcome back to the One Auto channel. My name's Rob. Got in behind me this Ford Galaxy. It's a 2010, it's a TDCi. It's in today because we're going to change the steering rack. Let's show you why. Okay, let's see if I can show you what I'm on about. Yeah, we know the door's open. I've got all of that movement there, and it's not actually doing anything on the wheels. Let me just show you. So I'll do the same thing. There's a big movement on the wheels, and that is just me just rocking it like that. I did check this the other day. It's got a lot of play in the steering rack. So I'll show you how to do it. Right, first thing to do, get your steering wheel straight. Take your key out, lock it. That's locked in a straight position, that's where we want it. Come underneath, by the pedals, you've got 10mm, that's the steering shaft from the rack just there. We need to disconnect the column, this 10mm just here. And this bolt has to come all the way out because of the groove in the actual shaft that comes up from the rack, that the bolt locates into the groove. There she blows, thanks very much, and that will lift up and off like that. Obviously, first things first, get the wheels off. This one has got a 21, they should be. They come with these chrome caps. The chrome caps have come off, so it drops it down to a 20mm, which I've only got the chrome. There he goes. Next, underneath the car, take off the undershield with the 10mm. And then we've got to take this piece off below the front bumper. That's because what we actually got to do here to do this steering rack, which now is sitting up here, we've got to lower this subframe down. So we need to get all the bolts for the subframe. Tab I've got to release just there. So like I say, I looked at this one the other day, just popped the steering gaiter back. In fact, this steering gaiter was, when it came in the other day, it wasn't even on because it had been somewhere else, and they said to the lady she needed 2 of these tie rods here. That isn't the case. The major play is up inside that rack. I don't know if you can see that moving there, but that's where all the play is. It's all inside. And when I had the steering shaft connected, it was really bad. Okay, so while we're here, I'm going to loosen off the lock nut for these tie rod ends. You're going to need a 27mm spanner. And right now I can't find mine, so I've got my adjustable. There we go. Moving, I'll go the other side while I'm wandering. Okay, that's them spun loose. Now we'll undo this tie rod end. Okay, 21mm. Put that back on there. Just going to strike it there to pop that loose. Like that. I'll leave them on the old rack for the time being. I'll go and do the other side. Okay, so what we need to do, this is your front subframe, there's your steering rack, just up there. So we've just got to go around this subframe and release things just so we can lower it down. Like for instance, there's a bracket there holding that pipe, and we'll need to take that undone. There's some lines at the back here, some hydraulic lines that need unclipping from the subframe, so we'll do that. and then the various, oh yes, also the power steering electric pump itself is mounted up behind this front bumper there. It's bolted onto the subframe, so I need to undo. There's a 10mm there, there's one there, and there might be one further up. You can take this wheel arch liner off if necessary to gain more access. Right, let's get these steering pump bolts out. Oh yeah, there's one at the top as well, so I'm going to need to take this inner lining off. I'll do that in a minute. 30 torques with this hydraulic line with the bracket. It's that loose. It's not connected anywhere else. So get those pipes disconnected out of the clips just there. We're going to need also to, what's that? Disconnect that bit of wiring there. It's just some poppers that's on. There's one there. One there. Leave that bit of loom up. Release these two 10mm that hold the exhaust to the subframe. At the back also, you've got a bracket just there with a 10mm. You need to take that to free this from the subframe. And over on the other side, you've got some connectors here that will release there, and there's some pipes up there that need to be popped out. 15mm bolt here to release the gearbox from the mounting. So back up on top of the steering rack there's a bracket you need to undo. It's this bracket for this pipe, it's on top there. I think it's a 25 torques, and then to release the pipes from the steering rack there's I think it's a 6mm Allen key just there that we're going to have to undo, and then get those pushed back. We're going to lose some fluid to get something underneath to catch that. One. Okay, so just got the bolt out. There we go, give it a little pull. Let's get some rag. I say rag, paper towel. See if we can catch a bit of it. Comes. Lucky that they're ready. Good catch. Now I'm just going to let that drain. Okay, inner lining now. Get this out. This is what we've got, 8mm there. 10, 10, 10. And some popper retainers there, what's up there, another popper there. Right, let's do it. So much mud, can't see all these retainers. Now, come on. Nice. I never do get them. Sound deadening, I suppose. Airbag. So the bolt we need to get at is just there, and have something just to tie this up round, maybe onto this wing mounting just there, just to support that. So next what you need to undo is the anti-roll bar, sway bar linkage, so I'll whiz that one undone there. So now we're going to release this bolt and this bolt. These are for the steering rack to the subframe. Before we do anything, these are 18mm. Should be loose now. Yep. Okay, next we want to be taking off this brace at the back here. These are 213s, there, two there, and then we'll get the transmission jack and we'll support it under here. Then we'll start loosening off the subframe bolts, which is one there, one there, one there, and one there. Right, let's loosen them off. I'll do these front ones as well. Okay, let's lower this down then. Into the bolts. Take these right out. Right. As we can see, the steering rack is all loose now. It's out of the car. The instructions do say to come this way with it, by disconnecting some of these power steering lines and getting them out of the way. I'll see, but for now I need to, this anti-roll bar needs to push upwards, and it's a bit stiff, so I've got to loosen it by which of these two lower track control arm that's held in with a nut and bolts are there. I'll just loosen those, both sides, push that up out the way. So it's a 21mm nut on the top and an 18 bolt. That's lovely. Okay, this is the steering rack here. This is the shaft. This is the like the big rubber grommet that goes against the bodywork just there. I can't quite pull that off at the moment, but there's one of the lines runs right around the back of it, so it's making it awkward. So I am going to disconnect this line just here. You're going to want one of these sort of disconnect tools for aircon and fuel lines. Basically they go round there like that, and then you push up and it releases these tabs inside. Just a minute, let's get it in the right position. There we are. There we go. Right, see if I can move this out of the way now then. Yeah, that's better. Good. He was just like hugging it, so couldn't move it. Push that out of the way. Now we're coming. Yeah. Okay, now just got to transfer over this this piece here. We do this, it basically locks in. We have to turn it that way, that's it, and then pop it up. Looks the same. There's this groove just there I was talking about where the bolt goes through. So I've centralised this rack. When you get a new steering rack, let me put this on. Yeah, when you get a new steering rack, just centralise it. Basically go all the way one way, count the amount of times to the other way, and then bring it halfway, and then you're in the middle. So looking at this one, this has come down, I'm not far out. Just doing some mould whips, you can just turn that round, like so. And we're about in line there. Take up these rubber protectors. That's it. And count the number of turns off and put them back on the same amount. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the rack's central. This groove is pointing the same way as the groove as the old one as it came off. This one's screwed 31 turns, so they're back on at 31 turns. They're not tight yet. We'll do that in a minute, and when it's all back up, we'll have to do a wheel alignment anyway. Right, let's get it back together. Ouch. Yeah, got an injury. Let me tell you what happened. I was putting it back together, you saw on the time lapse, and I got to this driver's front subframe bolt, and the bolt had picked up in the thread. The bolt was fine, but the thread had picked up. Someone has been there before, probably had a clutch or something, but anyway, no blame, just one of them things. Yeah, about halfway up I could screw the bolt in like 4 turns, and then that was it, jammed. So I needed to go and buy a tap. It was an M16x2 because the thread is up inside the chassis. Anyway, when I bought the tap, had to call out a local engineer to come round, and he's basically re-tapped it up there for us, and the subframe's back in. But whilst putting the subframe back in, we were going up with the bar, and we were just tightening, and all sort of the end of the bar went bash. Yeah, man, like I've done rounds with Tyson. So it's now Friday night, 6 o'clock. So anyway, got this subframe back up, happy days, connected all the pipe works, all the exhaust back on, brilliant. Let's top it up with fluid. Let's start this engine, see if we've got any leaks before I connect everything else up. Yeah, got a leak from one of the pipes into the steering rack. I did a little video on my phone because this was put away while the engineer guy was here because he didn't want to be on film. I'll show you that now. So the pipe, you can see leaking just there, out the corrosion. It's running down then dripping off. Ah dear. So yeah, I'm over to Ford's in the morning. Luckily this was sort of just before, I had 10 minutes before they could order for the next day. They had stock in the factory, so I'm going over to Ford's 8 o'clock in the morning and coming in on the Saturday morning to get it finished. So there you go, got to do that sometimes. So we'll pick up tomorrow, we'll see you then. Alright, we're back, Saturday morning. I've been down to Ford's to collect the new pipe and get this old one off. So the pipe, as you saw on the phone footage, it's leaking up there on that aluminium. Yeah, where that is actually where the bracket is. If you look on the new pipe, water on that old one has obviously got between this rubber and the alley pipe and just corroded it. Pretty crappy idea. So yeah, we'll get this changed out, disconnect that speed connector again, and undo this piece from the subframe, and that end bit goes there on the side of the electric pump, then runs down there, so doesn't look too bad. We'll change it all out now. There we are, new pipes installed. And into the pump. Right, let's get some fluid in this thing. Okay, so the oil this thing takes is this green hydraulic fluid. This is February Bilstein 06161, and it goes in here. So I'm going to fill it up and start it up. Put the steering, or I've put the column back on. Turn the steering lock to bleed it through, and hopefully no leaks. Great, how we had the play in the beginning, that is absolutely solid. There's no free movement in there, and every little movement of the wheel, steering wheel, turns the wheels. Okay, good, all good on road test. That thing's going off on an alignment check now. Yeah, that was a bit of a fight. Got the wounds to prove it. So, got there in the end, new steering rack. Tap out the captive nut in the chassis, which you didn't see. And then put it all back together, and the disappointment of having a leak on the alley pipe. So, never mind, got there in the end. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it's of use to somebody. Please subscribe to the channel. Click the logo there, not there, just there, and you can keep up to date with the latest uploads. Don't forget to connect to me on Facebook and Twitter and Google+. Thanks for watching.